Hi everybody, I'm back. It's Jill Blanchette with Green Thumb Stampers. I've got card number 2 for my Ho 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 paper pumpkin kit from October of 2022. This card also has a little bit of that glitter paste on it, so it will need to dry for a few minutes. And I'm putting it underneath. Pretty sure you could see the glitter in there. And I will show you how I did this card. I'm going to bring in a piece of paper. I've got the crumb cake card from the kit. Secure that fold down, or crease that fold down. And what we're going to do is we're going to spread the paste across this card. I'm not using any kind of a template or anything other than just trying to get a feel for how wide. So pretty much the width of the little spatula for how wide we need to go. You can use some shimmery Stampin' Up! Shimmer paste if you'd like. You could add some glitter to your Stampin' Up! Paste, I'm thinking. But I have this Sizzix paste. Crystal Glaze, it's called. And I'm going to use this. So I'm going to spread it onto the front of the card. And now, as with the last card, the paper's going to want to curl a little bit because it's kind of getting moist. This one more so, this glaze more so than the embossing paste is a wet feel. I'm getting it too wide, so I'm going to stop. Peel off the excess. Call that good. And now we just need to let it dry. Again, I'm going to take this and set it aside, and I'm going to put something on each half of this to hold it down to keep the paper from buckling. So I'm going to go and let this dry, and then I'll be back. Now I'm back to finish off our second card. It has had time to dry while I did the third video. So let me get some of those remnants out of the way. I've got the sparkle on there. Then we're going to take this piece from the kit, and I'm going to glue that flat into the space here over the top of the sparkle. So I'm going to put that on next. And I think I'm going to use green glue just because I've got enough little spots that I want to put it that it'll just be better to put some green glue to make sure that I get them all covered. Just want to make sure it's glued down pretty good. There. We're going to flip this over, and then we're going to put it over the top of our sparkles. And give it a second to dry on there before we move on. The green glue dries pretty quick. My sparkle stuff is still a little bit tacky, it feels like, so hopefully it's sticking down good. So then I've got an envelope again. So what I did here was I punched 3 circles out with a 1 1/4 inch punch. No, I'm sorry, it was a 1 3/8. This was 1 1/4, but I went back with a 1 3/8 inch punch, and I cut punch out some squares, and you would have enough leftovers, but on this card I'm going to do here, I'm going to cut this out, and these are, if we, I don't know if you can see if we flip it over, they're like 3 separate pieces here, and then this big, well, this one's blue, but right here there's 2 separate like strips. I cut it out around the edge of the color, so, and then I mounted it on white so as to save an envelope, because my cards did not use these strips, so I was able to salvage a couple for this, and then I will save the envelopes for something else. And I'm going to glue that down in the front. I'm just going to glue it flat. I mounted it on a 1.5 inch piece of basic white, and I think I'm about 3 inches long. Let me see what we ended up with. Oh, 3.5. And then I'm just going to stick that in the center, kind of go eyeball where I'm at with my other pieces and parts. So if I go from this line through the center, I can see got about the same on both, and then I'm going to come down so that I've got about the same on the top and the bottom. Without doing a lot of measuring, I'm just eyeballing this point and that point, and I could see I got to come down just a little tiny bit, and we're going to call that good. And then I'm going to make sure that that's glued down really well. I'm a little bit crooked. Let's see if I can. All right. So now I have the letters for the joy, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of them and pop those up on the stripy frame that I made. And then I'm going to peel off the backings and just lightly set them on there till I can make sure I got it where I want it. They will stick, but hopefully not too heavily that I can't get them off if I want them off. Because this particular way of doing it, using these flags, strips that are in the kit, is a little bit thinner or narrower than punching them with the punch. So let's get the Y on there. Then I'm going to move my O over. I guess maybe I'll move the J first. Move the J over. And then I'll bring in the O. And we're going to call this good. I think that is not quite straight up and down. Try and align it with the lines in the paper. And then we can use whatever pieces we have left of the envelope to make a strip. And so I'm going to use this little bit that I got here rather than cut up a new envelope, because I used too much of this piece for something else when I was goofing around, and I've only got, and I made them like 1/4 of an inch. Ooh, Whew. And then we're just going to glue them to the front of the card. And kind of put them in the middle. That's what I did. I put them in the middle of the space that I had open. You can butt them right up against the white if you'd like. That works too. I'm going to put them right there. From my angle, they look pretty okay, centered, straight. We're going to leave them. And then I will trim those pieces off the ends. And then go in and clean up any little pieces of the glaze that I can that might have gotten where I don't want it. So there we go. That is our third. Nope, this is the second card. This is the finished product for card number 2.